I'm actually really excited to talk to you about the new Loossemble MV, but first of all, spoiler warning for the movie Oblivion, the game Nier Automata, and the manga Kowloon Generic Romance, as well as Full Metal Alchemist. Now let's begin with analyzing the MV. So, we see their spacecraft from the end of the sensitive MV that is going towards this mirrored Earth, when all of a sudden we zoom out and we can see a triangle. This thing reminded me of multiple things. First of all, it looks to me like the spacecraft from the Oblivion movie. In that movie, there are clones created of humans, and they take away most of the clones' memories so that they can serve the aliens to their liking. But it also reminded me of the spacecraft in the Kowloon Generic Romance manga. In this story, there also are clones created of humans, and they take away most of their memories, but this spacecraft can also create illusions. It makes the people in Kowloon believe that Kowloon is still an existing city while it isn't. So it is not just an illusion that you can see, but it kind of also is an illusion you can live in. The little spaceships that are coming down to Earth are also quite interesting. It seems like a typical alien invasion scene out of a horror movie. And maybe the members brought the aliens here on accident, since they didn't know that the spacecraft was following them. Now, the MV is called Girls' Night, which makes me believe that this is the so-called Girls' Night. The members meet up and spend some time together, but these pink scenes are fake memories / dreams. Why that? Well, eating your assigned fruit was always associated with opening your eyes, being able to see the evil of the world. In the words of the Bible, seeing everything between good and evil. So the members all have these cherries in front of them, so they would be able to open their eyes, but they don't. I feel like this is shown to us purposefully to let us know that the members, just like the YYXY members at the time, do not want to open their eyes and see the reality or are just unable to. Maybe they want to keep on living in this dream world, not having their eyes opened. In that case, it also is kind of like a comfort thing. If you live in a dream world and are kind of happy with it, then why would you want to open your eyes and live in the sad reality? And this is why I believe that these pink scenes are just dreams or hallucinations, because the members haven't opened their eyes. Because the pink scenes all show us these happy memories of the members being together and having fun. And the blue scenes are always showing us the members not being together, or these dance scenes, and I don't know if these are canon. So these blue scenes seem to be real to me. They are moody and actually look like they are taking place during the night. And in the scene I did wonder why Hyunjin looks so sad, but just think about where she's looking at. This statue is the same statue that you can see later on in the MV, when Yeojin is beamed away, so maybe Hyunjin saw Yeojin being taken away by the spacecraft kind of thing, which explains why she seems to be frozen in fear. She just is really shocked and doesn't know what to do, maybe. I was kind of right about the scene in the teaser taking place outside, but I wasn't really expecting it being a pool area scene. Well, first of all, there is an angel statue, which could be a reference to the angel theme of the ARTMS members, or it just is a reference to fallen angels in general. A kind of crazy but popular theory on what fallen angels actually are was that they are aliens. They fall from the sky, look strange, and have special powers. So yeah, people theorized about them being aliens, and later on in this MV we see alien machines as well. And on the other hand, you can see two ducks. Why two ducks? Well, I don't know, but I could imagine this being a hint at the fact that two more people are witnessing Yeojin being beamed away, i.e. Hyunjin and Gowon that are looking out of this window. The book Yeojin is reading here is a book about a woman that is talking to a chocolate bar, and she doesn't want to eat the chocolate because she is worried about gaining weight this way. But the chocolate explains to her that its only purpose in life is to be eaten, and that she is denying him the satisfaction of being eaten and in this way fulfilling its purpose. I mean, all in all, it is just a silly little book, but in a way it could also be foreshadowing. I mean, the whole album is about fate and you creating your own destiny. And then this book basically tells Yeojin that her only reason to exist is because she has to fulfill some kind of purpose. So the book believes in a fate that is set in stone by someone else, while the Loossemble members talk about being able to create your own fate, and that your purpose in life is not to serve anybody else. And if the members are taken in by the aliens, maybe they are made to serve some kind of purpose. Maybe just like the ARTMS members, they are being recruited from the aliens for their powers, but more on that later. Next, Bibi and Yeojin wave hands and smile at one another. The scene from the teaser, and I did a lot of research and want to mention that the tarot cards have a special meaning, but this will only make sense later on, so until then. Now, this is the only scene that was filmed in this room, and Go-On is calling someone. This has to mean something. Otherwise, it would be a little weird to build this set just for one scene. Maybe she could be calling the members from the future, and she is warning them about the aliens. BB is the only member to have a solo dance scene in this room, and now look what's behind her. One of the alien eye machines. To me, it feels like they were hiding from the aliens in this house, and this is also explaining why the room is so dark and blue. They turned off the lights after the alien took Hyojin, so that first of all the aliens cannot see them anymore and maybe think that nobody else is home. Then we switch to another BB in a dark space that is looking around confused. Maybe she was indeed found by the aliens and was beamed up to their mothership as well. Again, these two are looking a little sad and upset, or maybe even cold. We cut from the two girls sitting there to the two ducks, which is interesting. Now Hyojin and Go-On in the car. Interestingly enough, Go-On said that in this scene Hyojin was supposed to drive the car, but since Hyojin looked unnatural they had to switch this, which is interesting for later. We see the alien eye follow them and even catch up when we switch to Hyunjin in front of a car, but without Go-On and Hyojin, so they seemingly weren't driving to the same place. Also, the amount of smoke makes me believe that the car was damaged, also explaining why she isn't driving anymore. Maybe one of the eye machines crashed into her. But what is especially weird about this is the scene continuity. Go-On and Hyojin driving in the car when they are surrounded by the aliens. Then the smoking car with Hyunjin but no aliens. Then Hyunjin coming out of the car with aliens but no smoke anymore. Then Hyojin with smoke on Hyunjin's car but no Hyunjin. Trust and believe when I tell you that this all has a point, because the whole production crew wouldn't make mistakes like this. Trust and believe. The girls are dancing in the same parking lot now, but it is earlier on in the day or the next day. They seemingly are close to the water because of the lighthouse, or this is just a statue for fun, but I don't know. And there are only two cars parked there, which are not the cars of the members, so keep this in mind. Now Hyunjin next to a payphone and a big bag that has US on it. I mean, I would have guessed that this is taking place in the US because of the spaceship flying there and the electricity cables. In a lot of countries, these are not really a thing anymore, because it is just more practical to put cables on the ground, but I will not go on a rant about this, so this time you're lucky. But it definitely is interesting that they are in the US, or in a place that looks like the US, mostly because the US was always associated with the Odd Circle members and Middle-earth through their MVs being filmed there. On the other hand, now that the universe seems to be mirrored, maybe the locations of places have changed, but who knows. Next, we change locations and we see this darkly lit, mostly black room. Go-On is walking towards us and you can see this clock showing midnight, so 12 o'clock, and it creates this kind of halo effect around her head. When it changes to a close-up where a light is going around her head, kind of looks like a scanner. Now we see another member, and my guess is that this is Hyeju, since this looks like her outfit, and opposite to Hyunjin, this person has bangs just like Hyeju. This building looks quite interesting in general, but it also reminds me of Nier Automata. In that universe, machines and androids are the only beings left on Earth, and because of this there are a lot of weird artificially looking places made up of squares. And this looks artificially made as well. It also looks a little bit like a mix of a spaceship and a religious temple. This ground looks just like a clean white spacecraft, and this dirty grey construction looks really old, like a temple might be. In a way, it mixes the old temple and new futuristic spacecraft aesthetics and creates something new, like a chimera of two different buildings. This switches to BB holding up her fingers like a handgun, and then a quick shot of Hyojin, Go-On, Hyunjin, and Hyeju, while the light is going around them as if they were being 3D scanned. And I also believe that this could be the order in which the members were beamed up by the eye machines, but more on that later. And now we see Hyojin in all of her glory, seemingly coming out of this building, and we see a lot of smoke on the ground. This also kind of reminds me of horror movies in which a machine or newly created being is surrounded by smoke when they take their first steps. Like in the movie The Fly. It kind of is a horror movie trope. To me, it kind of feels like this is her being 3D printed in this thing, and then she steps out of there, which lets out all of the smoke that was created during her printing, you know? Next we see Hyunjin using the payphone to talk to BB, who is basically in the same location, just like a few meters apart. How weird. Now Hyeju on a motorcycle, and she has a cut in her eyebrows, which looks really great on her, but together with the glitter tattoo thing over her nose, it kind of gives off the vibe of her being wounded, you know? As if she was in a fight with one of the alien machines. More of the members in the strange futuristic temple. Also, these seem to be sitting areas, and they are on both sides, so Loossemble and ARTMS could be sitting together in this temple. Also, now that the smoke is not so strong anymore, you get a better look at the reflective spacecraft ground next to the stone kind of ground. Not only does it kind of look like the sensitive spacecraft, but also like the Near Automata spacecraft. But I guess spacecraft just generally look alike, so whatever. Also, these look like cameras, so maybe you go in this building, then the original member is 3D scanned. Then the original member's 3D scan is used to clone them, and then they are printed out by this machine. This is just straight up a scene mirroring the Air Force One beginning, in which Jinsul throws away the cake, which is a rebellious act. This looks like a flower, then we see the building blowing up, but a flower is not really able to blow up a building. And when you go really slow, you can see that the explosion happens before the flower even reaches the building. Editing mistake or not, it is interesting to say the least. Maybe a hint at the fact that this might not be happening for real. The members are sleeping all together on a bed, reminiscent of the XX limited album cover. And the ground is a really reflective black, again making it look like some kind of horror movie. It specifically reminded me of Under the Skin, which is a movie about an alien coming down to Earth, imitating a human woman, and then she tricks men into following her into a black void that seemingly is an illusion, which is when she takes away their life force. I don't know, the movie is a bit wishy-washy with its themes, and I don't really get it, so I guess even I don't understand some things. But this definitely gives off Middle-earth horror vibes. And it reminds me of the Birth MV teasers, in which we see Jinsul and Cherry in a similar black void space. Now Gohan wakes up and sees the flying eye machine in front of her. Now, this is a mirror to the scene from the Birth MV with Jinsul standing next to the goddess. The eye machine scans her for the cloning process, when we switch to Gohan laying in bed and reaching out with her hand, switching back to her standing in front of the machine, and she makes the machine explode, similar to the scene from the Odyssey Circle members in Air Force One, where they make a truck explode. This switching back and forth is quite interesting to me, because it could mean that while this is not 100% accurate to what is happening, because of the inconsistencies with the scene continuity, this could indicate to us that even though she sees everything through hallucinating eyes, she did actually destroy one of the machines. Or because of her powers, she was able to corrupt the coding of the machines and made them all self-destruct. So Gohan seemingly destroyed their mothership, because when you look at the sky, this is not fireworks, but the eye machines exploding. And when we go really slow here, you can see this blue light back in the frame again. Now there are more and more cars. Plus the car Hyunjin, Gohan and Yeojin drove in, and the motorcycle of Hyeju. It's like the blue light symbolizes the reality coming into their vision again. Maybe Gohan did in fact destroy the machine, and they are slowly able to see more and more of the reality again. Which also fits the scene in which you can see Bibi, Gohan, Hyunjin and Hyeju, but Yeojin is missing. So they can see through the lies now and notice that Yeojin was missing from the beginning. Next, something a lot of you commented under the last theory video. Hyeju's glass is different. She has this smooth glass here, when in the beginning her glass also had a pattern, and the candles are not burning anymore as well. Just another inconsistency showing us a warped dream version of the events unfolding. Just like in the Sensitive MV, after the song ends there is this big lore reveal, and now we get a closer look at the strange building, and if you listen closely you can hear the song playing in the background, as if it was played on a cassette tape player, which is quite interesting because this is not only used in the Love Cherry Motion MV teaser, but is also heavily associated with BB, because of her whole VHS Android old technology aesthetic. So maybe this is just BB re-watching and listening to her old memories. This would also explain what she was doing this whole time in the Sensitive MV, while the other members were sleeping. She can look at old memories of hers, just like she was looking at her broken memories in the Everyday I Love You MV. Then BB is standing where Gohan was standing earlier, but because it was shot from a lower angle now, we can see this big screen with what looks like explosions. To me it feels like this might be a transporter. This is a fictional technology from, for example, Star Trek, which allows you to teleport people from point A to B. It incinerates you and your particles, and it basically copies you and sends the copy to the transporter station, which then, just like a printer, prints you out, so it basically puts your particles back together. In a way, this is not you being teleported, but a copy of you being created, but let's not question this logic. This is also underlined by both Gowon and BB starting at this point, and there seemingly isn't any other doorway. This is because they were teleported there, so there doesn't really need to be any doorway, and this probably is in the spacecraft rather than it being a temple on Earth. BB seemingly is looking at a screen when it switches back to the beginning of the MV where Yeojin was chilling outside and BB was looking down at her from the balcony. Also, BB is filming with a VHS camera, again a reference to her observing everything through a lens because she is an android. Now we have quick flashes of Hyunjin, BB, Gowon and Hyeju wearing raincoats, searching for Yeojin at night while they look concerned and upset. This also explains why Hyunjin and Gowon were looking outside the window with a stern and sad face, because they were unable to find Yeojin anywhere. We see BB and Hyunjin on the phone when Hyunjin hangs up the phone. Now the two ducks are going a little wild. Again, this to me underlines that both Gowon and Hyunjin also know about Yeojin's disappearance. And now they look all over the place and contact one another to update each other on the situation. Which is also why we only see scenes of Gowon, Hyunjin and BB talking to someone on the phone. It is because they are the only members who saw Yeojin disappear, and because they are the ones looking around for her. Now Yeojin is on her journey with the other members that turns out to be only fabricated dreams, or hallucinations, since Yeojin was missing all along and so she couldn't spend time together with the other members. And it sounds like the members in the rain are screaming Yeojin ah, which, if you don't know, is done in Korean, two names that end with a consonant as like a casual title for friends. You can sometimes hear idols call one another by their first name and then they put an I at the end of it, which, as far as I know, you also only do for friends. Like for example with Gowon being called Gowoni, but don't quote me on this. So they call out for their friend, Yeojin ah, to find her. And this BB is seeing this on a big screen in front of her. We see the sky is red, purple-ish. Where have we seen this before? And we see the big triangle in the sky. It basically looks like the apocalypse is about to happen. Yeojin is now evaporated, but again she probably is just teleported, and then, what I find to be one of the best Luna acting moments ever, BB looks shocked at what she has just witnessed. It seems like she had forgotten about this and is seeing it for the first time again, you know? It even looks like she is about to cry when all of a sudden something changes in her, and she doesn't seem to be fazed at all. It's like they turned off her emotions again, kind of like a reverse of Love and Live. Since she is an android, they can probably just change her coding and delete her memories. Then they can make her do whatever they want, and she doesn't even feel anything. Now onto the elephant in the room. Badumtsch. The artificial robot snake eating its own tail, and then BB's red eyes. But listen closely to the audio. You can hear her eyes changing. Which lets me know that this is not just a hallucination, and no, these are not odd eyes. Even though it would be a really cool theory, BB has already disproven this theory on an Instagram live. But it is interesting to me because she had these strange looking eyes at the end of the Love and Live MV, and now she has these strange looking eyes in this MV. Maybe her eyes change whenever her emotions are turned on or off, but I don't know. And this is an Ouroboros. It's from Greek mythology and depicts a dragon/snake eating its own tail, creating an infinite loop this way. Like you can imagine, it's a symbol for infinity and a never-ending cycle. Death and rebirth, new beginnings, and stuff. But it is also the symbol for the homunculi in the Fullmetal Alchemist series. Homunculi are artificially created humans, the term comes from alchemy, and in Fullmetal Alchemist most of them are wearing black, leathery kind of outfits, and some of them have red eyes. Depending on which version of Fullmetal Alchemist you watch, they can also be copies of real people. Like one-to-one clones, and they are following the lead of their creator, doing everything that he wants them to do. So even if this is not a purposefully done reference, it does fit the themes of the MV. We have a copy of a real human that wears a leather outfit and has red eyes, that most likely follows every command their creator gives them. And let me just quickly show you the scenes from this MV that mirror the ARTMS members' MVs. because I do believe that this MV and the Birth MV basically tell us the same story but in different fonts. They thematically overlap a lot. A supernatural being creating a copy of the members and then has the total control over them and can now use them to their liking. So let me put all of these puzzle pieces together for you now. First, I'm going to tell you how I believe this story is meant to be understood, and after this I will give you some more details and explain my theory. So, we see the members having a girls' night. They play games and enjoy their time, when suddenly the sky gets illuminated by lightning. Yeojin and Bibi are outside, so they notice these strange things occur. Yeojin gets beamed away by the spacecraft, which Bibi, Go-on, and Hyunjin witness. And then the members frantically search for her, because they cannot believe that she is gone. They looked all over the place for her, and decided to drive around in their cars looking for her, when all of a sudden these flying eyes follow around the members. Bibi tries to contact the members and tells them about what is going on, when one by one they are seen by the eye machines, and are teleported to the teleporter in the mothership. Bibi is hiding in the house when she is seen by the eye machine through the window and she is teleported away. Go-on drives in her car when the all-seeing eyes catch up to her and she is teleported. Hyunjin's car at some point is getting damaged and she can't drive any further, so she is surrounded and teleported. Now only Hyeju is left. She is driving with her motorcycle and I am guessing that she put up more of a fight than the other members. Maybe she tried to destroy one of the eyes, but she is too late, since all of the members are already in the mothership. Now she also is taken in. When they arrive at the spacecraft mothership thing, they are put to sleep in sleeping pods, which is symbolized by them sleeping all together in a bed. They dream of escaping the aliens together and destroying the mothership. Then the aliens use their scans of the members to create homunculi of the members. These doppelgangers can now serve the aliens to their liking. And again, when I say aliens, I do believe that these are connected to the Birth MV's light beings. In the past, there have been a lot of theories on gods actually just being aliens that came in contact with humans. So what if this is the sci-fi version of that? Both MVs end up telling us similar stories, from the members being hunted down to them being copied. Then also the spacecraft showing us 12 o'clock, and there being 12 pods in the spacecraft also make a lot more sense, if we believe that these aliens are looking for all of the members. Also, just a little detour, one of the songs on the album is called Truman Show, and the movie is all about a man thinking his life is totally normal until he realizes that everything in his life is just a lie, and he is just a character in his own reality show. From birth, he was filmed and everyone around him was an actor. So this to me not only feels like a really cool reference, but also like a hint at the fact that the members really are living in a dream world in this MV, in the Sensitive MV, and even the ARTMS members in their MVs as well. When you think about it, then the ARTMS members' MVs this far have been about them going against their quote-unquote fate, and rebelling against someone or something. They can spend time together and be happy. So what if this is also just happening in their dreams? Then the references to the Air Force One and Birth MV would also make a lot more sense. If the aliens implant these dreams/hallucinations into their brains, then of course these dreams would look similar. So Jinso would see a similar thing than Go-on, for example. So while there might be true parts to the MVs, it just feels like most of these MVs are influenced by hallucinations that somebody put into their heads, where the basis of the dream could be a memory, but then it is corrupted by the artificially implanted memories and dreams. Just like in the Truman Show, the members believe that what is happening to them is real, while it is just fabricated. The question is, what will happen when the members find out all of this is not real? That their rebellion only took place in their heads, and that they were just tricked and used from the start. So let's fill this theory with some more details. So first of all, can we please talk about the fact that the thumbnail is showing us the members sleeping? This, as well as the members in the last MV sleeping in their pods, paints a pretty clear picture. The picture that what we see in this MV and in the last MV might not really be happening. Now the members are shown to us in these normal day-to-day outfits and these black leather outfits. These black leather outfits remind me of the homunculi outfits, and at the end of the MV, we see Bibi with her red eyes that also fit into this. And if we think about it some more, then Bibi is a homunculi by definition. She is an artificial human by design since she is an android. And then I thought about Nier Automata, which is a video game about humanoid androids that even have feelings, kind of like BB, and they are fighting for humanity against machines that were created by, who guessed it, aliens. Aliens taking over the planet with machines and humanoid androids fighting against them for the sake of humankind. Yeah, sounds familiar. And these androids can be infected with a virus called the Logic virus. This virus makes the androids turn against their own kind, and it turns them evil. Their eyes turn red, and they basically become controlled by the enemy. Could be another connection to what is happening to BB. This virus is connected to the red eye disease from the Drakengard series, which is even more complicated to explain, but this also could be connected to the Luniverse. Because of the Watchers, these are babies and a type of god/goddess that is taking control over people, which then would fit the Birth MV quite well. In a way, this again is like the sci-fi version of that. And this is the sci-fi version of that. Basically, these red eyes to me are a symbol for BB being taken over by some kind of evil force. She is concerned for Hyojin and cries when she sees her being taken away before this evil takes over in her and makes her unfazed by whatever she saw. Now these spacecraft looking like the spacecraft in both Oblivion and Kowloon Generic Romance to me feels like it might just be a coincidence, but thematically they do seem to overlap. In this MV we see the members sleeping, and in their dreams or hallucinations they escape together with Hyojin. We know that these are not real scenes because of the constant changes in details. Like Hyeju's glass being changed, Hyojin sitting together with Go-on, and then she is shown on the car of Hyunjin. And I mean, Hyojin not even appearing in the scene where all of the members come together in the parking lot is a pretty clear sign that something isn't adding up. These scenes show us a hodgepodge of events that contradict one another, because they want to let us know that this did not happen the way it is shown to us, and that these are just corrupted dreams or memories. The aliens let the members dream of destroying the machines so that they don't even notice that they are trapped in a dream. But I do feel like at some point Hyeju and Go-on noticed this, because they are the two members that seem to fight this hallucination the most. Hyeju tries to explode the spacecraft and Go-on seemingly wakes up to destroy one of the eye machines, but in actuality it seems like they are still under the control of the red-eyed machines, because at the end we see BB's doppelganger in the spacecraft, which wouldn't be possible if it would have been destroyed by Hyeju and Go-on. Oh, and while we're talking about red-eyed machines, remember the eyes of the goddess in the Birth MV. Could this be another connection? I mean, it would definitely explain some of the details in the Birth MV. How can the goddess be at multiple locations at the same time? Because these are just multiple machines that look all over the place for the members. Why does the light being look like Jinsoul? Well, it is a machine that can make you hallucinate, so maybe it just made Jinsoul see it as a version of herself for her not to be scared. And then the light being shining her light on Jinsoul is a metaphor for her scanning and cloning Jinsoul. And most importantly, why are there two goddesses and one shoots the other? Well, for once, there is ARTMS, the goddess that protects the ARTMS members. And then there is this alien that tries to take over the members. So it makes sense that it tries to banish or even unalive the goddess so that the goddess cannot help the members to escape. And now all of a sudden my Birth MV theory wasn't even that far off when I theorized that there is an alien invasion reminiscent of the Body Snatchers and other horror movies, because in this MV it is kind of confirmed. And it also, at least to me, confirmed the connection of the Loossemble and ARTMS subunits. If we take what happens in this MV and what happens in the Birth MV, I feel like we see the same events happening but from two different perspectives. We see the members mind their own business when they meet these strange aliens/light beings. Then they start to hallucinate. In Haseul's case, she even dreams about the same dinner table scene that the Loossemble members dream of. Then the members are cloned, and now there exist two versions of the members. The originals and then the artificially made homunculi. Which, it is kind of funny that I called this detail out in the Birth MV, and there wasn't even any red eyes or Ouroboros in that one. Kind of crazy. And I think that these clones might just be some kind of android because of the whole virtual angel title track and AI versus real art thing. In a way, this MV fits the virtual angel theme way better than the Birth MV did, with its occult horror movie aesthetic. Another interesting thing is the intro track to the album. A Butterfly Signal is one hell of a title. For once because butterflies and the butterfly effect is heavily associated with the members, and on the other hand because it is Go-on's assigned animal, it also connects Go-on with fate and her being able to change their fate/create their own destiny. The lyrics also kind of underline this. Girls' night. It's a choice, not a chance. That determines your destiny. Just like our little wings, I hope it gets to you. I had to use a translator for the Korean parts, so they might not be 100% accurate, but you get the gist of it. The intro underlines this theory of the butterfly effect, that all of the members can create their own fate, and also that the Loossemble members are using their wings to reach out to the other members. Which could also explain why the members wear wings in their teaser images. Maybe that was what they used the tarot cards for. While the packaging of the deck is for a cat tarot card set, which could be a reference to Hyunjin. I mean, Hyunjin in the pre-debut era was kind of like the first member to reach out to other subunits. She was the second member to debut, and in her solo MV we see her communicate with Go-On. And then in the Girlfriend MV we see her communicate with Cherry, so she seems to be the one member that is able to communicate with the other subunits the most easily. Which then could be symbolized by the cat tarot card set, but I'm not quite sure. And the cards that are lying around are actually another set, which I heard is normal. Clairvoyants apparently mix and match their cards and decks to their liking. And these cards are actually part of a deck called the Fool's Tarot deck. And there is the Fool card on the top of the packaging. And the Fool card is representing the point where everything begins and ends and begins again, so rebirth and new beginnings. The Fool Tarot card is a sign of unlimited and endless potential. It's a cosmic invitation from the universe to start your next adventure. So not only new beginnings, but also that you can change your fate and create your own future with endless possibilities, like the butterfly effect suggests. So maybe, just maybe, the members use the tarot cards to tell their future or communicate with the other members. And when they notice that they are in trouble because of the aliens and all, they send out a distress call. I mean, listen to the ending of the intro. And this is just another trope in space-themed horror movies. You float around in space and then you get a signal from another ship. It basically is the plot of the Alien movie. A distress call is luring the crew of the Nostromo to an unknown planet, and there they meet the aliens. Maybe the Loossemble members were able to contact the ARTMS members, but accidentally lured them into this mess of a situation. And then they end up in the Birth MV, hallucinating and running away from the aliens as well. And maybe, just maybe, we will get a Loossemble appearance in the Virtual Angel MV, but maybe this is just wishful thinking. This would be really crazy because in the Sensitive MV we see 12 pots, so this could all lead up to an OT12 comeback. Like the aliens are trying to collect all of the members. I mean, let an orbit dream, okay? So if you liked this video, you can like and subscribe, and I will see you next week with a flower, rhythm, and Candy Crush analysis video. So stay tuned, and till then.